The intention is to not, in the current state of play, the intention is to not bring forward any countermeasures, first list or second list, before the deadline announced by the US of the 1st of August. Until then, our laser focus is on negotiations, and that will be our priority for the moment.
Reiterated the words from the High Representative. The killing of civilians seeking aid in Gaza is indefensible. She spoke with her counterpart, the Israeli Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar, to recall the understanding that we had, EU and Israel, on aid flow, and she made it clear that IDF, Israeli Defense Forces, must stop killing people at distribution points. The High Representative is putting the pressure on the Israeli Foreign Minister as part of the channels being open and as part of diplomacy, as the recent call that she just had minutes ago also underlined.
The European asylum system is broken. We need innovative solutions. We're here today in a situation where half the people who apply for asylum in Europe are rejected, and only 1 in 4 of those who are rejected are sent back to their country of origin. We have a pressure on the EU external borders from the east, from states like Belarus and Russia, and we have a pressure from the south, from criminal gangs and human smuggler networks.
When it comes to the most important topics at the moment, we've tabled a lot of proposals in the last weeks and months as a European Commission, talking about the return regulation, for instance, which we're also discussing today, but also the safe third country concept or the list of safe countries of origin. I think a reform of the migration system and how to manage migration is a necessity. You call it tightening, reform. We have to go new ways. It's outdated. The legal framework we have is very old, and it's not sort of what we feel at the moment. That's why we desperately and quickly need this new migration management, this reform of the migration management, and that's what we try to deliver as quick as possible.
And the very foundations of our security and prosperity are simply too shaky. This is why I believe that it is time to build a new form of freedom and independence for the 21st century. On trade, for instance. We are, of course, working to reset our trading partnership with the United States on a stronger footing, but we also know that 87% of global trade is with other countries, many of them looking for stability and opportunity.
In today's complex geopolitical environment, the European Union-Japan co-partnership stands as a model of principled, reliable cooperation. Today's summit is about strengthening that partnership with concrete actions, especially in 3 key areas.
And so what we are proposing now as part of the new draft MFF is that the conditionality regulation will continue to apply, and that can be applied in relation to all EU funds, and of course the context of there being a risk to the financial interests of the EU or the EU budget remains directly relevant there.
What we see is a strong role of the public sector in terms of planning, in terms of guaranteeing accessibility, but we've seen the involvement also of private sector, not-for-profit sector, so which guarantees a good cooperation among different stakeholders, and this is pretty unique. In particular, how much developed the not-for-profit sector is, I think it's something that it's pretty unique compared to other cities and places that we've been looking at.
Let me be very clear. We are great supporters of Ukraine. We want to fight and we want to tackle the Russian propaganda narrative of the corrupt Ukraine because we think that's nonsense. But we also believe that anti-corruption bodies need to be independent.
We have reached an inflection point rebalancing our bilateral relation is essential, because to be sustainable, the relations need to be mutually beneficial. And to achieve this, it is vital for China and Europe to acknowledge our respective concerns and come forward with real solutions.
The European Union and China, as you said, Mr. President, are major economies and actors in the world. We share the responsibility to uphold the rules-based order and tackle global challenges.
In relation to Commissioner Šefčovič's call yesterday, I don't have any precisions to offer at this point, other than to repeat that intensive technical level and political level contact is ongoing daily. And as regards a deal, an outcome, we believe such an outcome is within reach, and we are working might and main to deliver that for EU citizens, for EU companies, for EU consumers.
The Governing Council today decided to keep the 3 key ECB interest rates unchanged. Inflation is currently at our 2% medium-term target. The incoming information is broadly in line with our previous assessment of the inflation outlook. A stronger euro could bring inflation down further than expected. Moreover, inflation could turn out to be lower if higher tariffs lead to lower demand for euro area exports and induce countries with overcapacity to reroute their exports to the euro area. The sooner this trade uncertainty is resolved, so I think we use the word resolved swiftly, so the sooner it is resolved, the less uncertainty we will have to deal with.
So the merger was approved. Now we take note of, indeed, the decision not to proceed now with the offer for Banco BPM. Now the decree remains on the table, and the letter we had sent was on the decree. So as the decree remains on the table, our discussions with the Italian authorities will also remain on the table. Indeed, when we sent a letter is in the objective to get a reply. We have good exchanges on various issues. I mean, I was here also to speak about beach concessions a couple of days ago. Our exchanges with the Italians are good, and let's continue on that basis.
We have expressed our concerns and worries. We have seen that the Ukrainian government has taken action. We welcome that action. And indeed, we work with them to make sure that these concerns regarding the fight against corruption, which is an extremely important priority for us and for Ukraine as well, are indeed correctly addressed.